I won't look back.
What's going on, beautiful people? I'm the Grandmaster, and I also go by D-Ray, bringing you guys another episode of the Grandmaster's Table. For the very first time, I am joined by my brand new co-host, Summer. Say hi.
Hi.
And we have a very, very special guest, the legendary comedian, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Shayquaza. Go on and say hi, my man.
Howdy ho.
Guys, if you guys are new here, please do me a massive favor and hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications, hit the bell button so you guys get notified every single time I post a new video. And if you can do me a massive favor and hit the like button while you're at it, it really does support the channel. It really does make sure it shows us that, you guys like what we do, which says a lot. Today is going to be a day for us to be able to sit down and dissect the life of Shay, to basically give you guys the dirty deeds of what Shay is. I know that you guys have been wondering a lot. The man has his own podcast, but we'll get to that as well. Shay, how have you been? How's everything been going as of right now with all this COVID-19 craziness?
Not too bad, man. There's everything, everybody's all quarantined and whatnot, but I think I'm handling it pretty well. This morning I woke up and there was a small piece of a Frito corn chip in my ear. So that's pretty much explains how it's going for me. A lot of snacks, a lot of naps kind of thing.
That's true.
I swear to God, dude, it's a real thing.
It really is. Sleep schedules, snacks. There was a photo posted today on Twitter that I saw where there's the four photos, and one of the photos says marijuana, and then it shows like a happy person, then it shows cocaine and some dude's all messed up, and on the bottom left it shows meth, and then the person's all nasty looking, and on the bottom right it's quarantine, and the guy was like super skinny in the beginning and then super fat at the end. Because all of us are just snacking away because there's nothing else really to do.
The quarantine 15. Straight
up.
The quarantine 15. That's funny. What's your main activity nowadays? That's the toughest question of the day.
Damn, that's you're starting out with the hard hitters, huh? Damn. I still have to go to work and stuff because I'm like essential, quote unquote.
What do you do?
Other than that, I'm like a delivery driver for like auto parts / trailer metal things, and I know it's a very good description and all, but it's just a bunch of random parts for automotive things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're the guy we call in case a car breaks down.
I'm the dude that you call if a guy that's working on your car and he needs the part.
Oh.
And that's essential?
I don't even have jumper cables. I'm horrible with cars.
That's up to your employers not listening to this. I'm just kidding. That's awesome. So if you're still working as an essential job, right? So nothing's really changed, really? Day-to-day wise?
Not too much. They made it usually, you can get a little overtime and everything's cool, but they were 40 and that's it. And if you get more than that, you're grounded or something. I don't know, but so they're being kind of strict about that. But other than that, it's not really too different. There's a little less traffic because everyone's, watching The Office or whatever everybody's doing. I don't know.
Yeah, everyone's inside all day, the whole entire time. Yeah. We're stuck inside.
How are Yeah, I was about to ask, how are you guys handling it? I know you have a kid and stuff, so that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, we have 2 kids.
2 kids.
Yeah. It gets boring. We try to keep them preoccupied, but they definitely get upset because they want to go outside. Luckily, we have a home, so they can run outside of our home, but
gotcha.
Going to the zoo and stuff is not a thing right now, and yeah,
everything in San Diego's in lockdown. The essential jobs aren't really that high, so you'll you'll drive out and there's no one on the road. You'll walk corners, there's no traffic. Gas for us has gone down. That's something really, really new. We're actually really excited that the gas went down $3, but in San Diego it's never over $3.50, and now it's above or under $2.50, which is insane.
Yeah, same here. It's like $1.70 or something, which is just
Jesus
bonkers.
We're over here excited that it's
$2.40. Summer's mind was just blown. Her eyes just went super wide.
I'm gonna start putting gas in the freezer.
It's Texas though.
Oh yeah.
It's Texas though, so we hardly ever ride in cars. Usually it's just horses and stuff, so you can't really even use that much gas. Carrot prices have gone up exponentially though. That's been crazy. It is tough to get a good horse's carrot around these parts, man.
That's epic. So what I'd like to do, man, is I want to ask you the same two questions that I think everyone finds super popular whenever they come onto the podcast. Is number one, in regards to Pokemon, when did you come into the franchise? When did you first started liking or getting into Mons? Not competitively. It doesn't have to be competitively. It could just be the first time you became a fan.
When I was like real little, like before cognitive memory, you know, when it's just kind of like little in general. Like I remember my neighbor had it and I was like, that's cool. And then I got it that Christmas, and then it's just been like obsessed ever since. Like I don't really play any other games other than Pokemon. Like that's just 100% of my time is that. And that's embarrassing to say considering my skill level at the game.
No, it's that. I feel that. It's been that way for me too. I think once you latch onto something, it just becomes the norm. So you've been basically since forever, huh? Gen 1?
Yes, sir. I think my first version was blue, and like my neighbor had red, so it's just like, give me the other one, you know? And then
give me the other, yeah.
And I got Crystal not too soon after, and then that was just like, that was the one, you know, that was like my favorite. Even when Ruby and Sapphire came out, I was like, those double battles look kind of whack. I'm gonna just keep playing this over and over again.
Yeah, those are big. I was kind of the same way. I started with red, and then I ended up getting gold the year after, and then Crystal came in. I was like, I'm ditching gold. This is just too much fun. And I still have it to this day. You got that cartridge, and it's funny that Summer and I were talking about this the other day. That you know how like nowadays technology, the stuff that you buy, you could buy a brand new Switch one year and then use it every single day, and then that Switch will be a potato and all of a sudden not work anymore. But the old school like 90s stuff, like the Game Boy Colors, will still be kicking and it works just fine. Put a battery in it and it works just fine. So you can boot up the whole Game Boy and boot up your old Crystal version and play it just like your favorite.
Straight up, I still have one that my old roommate gave me, and it's got like his children's initials on it and a Sharpie on the back. Like he like had to label it so no one else would take his, you know, like in like elementary school. So I was like, oh, that's cool, this still works.
Yeah, it's insane how much like different things are from then to now. How much things can last.
They're go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask the next question. So I was interested in first generation when I was like 5, but then once I turned 6, that's where I left Pokemon behind. So I had a short, like, I don't really know much about it aside from Daniel. So I am always curious though, as to what your favorite Pokemon of all time, just in general, and why.
And why? Okay. It's kind of funny, and it's a little dumb, but Tangela is my favorite Pokemon of all time. Morpeko's a close second because it's adorable. I mean, look at him. But I remember me and my buddy, like way back in the day, we were talking about how, like, you know, just favorite Pokemon of our group of friends, and then we kind of realized, like, nobody's favorite Pokemon is Tangela. And I always kind of like thought about that. And then like I started making a YouTube channel and I was like, I don't know what to make like the mascot, you know? So I was like, well, you know what? I'll be his fan, dude. I'll do it. Like, I'll be that guy. I'll step up and I'll download a bunch of, you know, Google images. And then I'll just be the Tangela guy, you know? And he does have some pretty fly kicks. So, I mean, like, I guess that's the reason. I don't know a lot of other Pokemon that got like Jordans on and shit, but like he definitely does.
That got Jordans.
You do have.
I like how yours has the cowboy hat though. Adds a little flair to it.
You gotta bring the Texas in there somewhere, you know. So then when you hear a little bit of the accent, you're like, oh, it's okay. That checks out, you know.
Okay.
that segues into the next one. Us as a community, us with your friends, we always socialize, you know, horses with Shayquaza. What exactly started the horse thing? I know it kind of bled into being with JB, but what exactly started the whole horse thing?
Oh man, the fucking horse thing. So we just like, for some reason, just me and JB and a bunch of our buddies, we just wanted to do a showdown live one day, and then we just like used a team of 6 horses. It just kind of happened. There wasn't really any like, you know, none of us are equestrian fans or anything. It's just like, we just did it. And then, we made the team, and then I was like, hold on. And that's when Old Town Road came out. So I was like, well, hold on. I think I can make a rap about that. I think this is prime, you know, meme territory for me to put out a banger, you know. And so then we did the showdown live, and then the song, and then they've just been like a thing ever since. Like, and then Also, we started spelling out the noise a horse makes, which is obviously so like a bunch of P's and B's and H's, and that's pretty much what a horse says, you know? So we always thought that was funny. And then it just kind of stuck. Even to this generation, we're still like, ooh, horses.
Yeah, that's true. That's hilarious. But moving on to what I was looking at, because earlier today, guys, if you were catching up, make sure you guys follow me at Grandmaster D-Ray. Whenever we do the Grandmaster's table, we have a brand new guest that's going to come on the show. We like to go on there and then get the people, our friends, those viewers, the ones that are going to watch the Grandmaster's table, to get some questions on to make it a little bit more flavorful, so people can actually step in and ask things that our guest may be avoiding, which is great. So right now we have a couple questions that I see on Twitter that we actually just got from a few hours ago, because I thought to myself, I know this guy's super popular, so let's go and wait a little bit. So I waited a couple hours before we sat down together, and then there's a couple responses that I would love to get into. So the first question that I have from you from Twitter is from @MidPokemaster, and he is the commissioner of the APA Academy, and he asks, why does Shay only play on Sunday?
Well, there is a bit of history behind that. You know, it's like my father and my grandfather said before him, Sundays are for Pokemans and Jesus, I believe, is like exactly what they're for. And then, so that kind of became like a meme, because I was always off on Sundays and like I worked Saturdays, so like I'd always like do Sunday. And then it kind of just became a meme. And then now, since Mid says that so much, I'm definitely battling on Saturdays in APA from now on, for sure. But I mean, that is the day for, you know. And they have, actually, in the streets, they do call me Sunday Sheldon. That's a real thing. I didn't even make that up.
In the streets?
On the streets.
Some streets, you know, some.
Couple blocks.
Yeah, a little bit around.
Is it the streets of Texas? So where from Texas are you from?
I live in DFW, so it's like the area around Dallas and Fort Worth, you know. Kind of in the middle, but
I wish you could look at Summer's face. So she's she was ready to be like, okay, I know what you're talking about. We have friends from over there. She's like, what?
Okay, so if you look at Texas, right, and if you look at Texas like it was a person, where its right nipple would be, that's right.
That's a great description.
That's awesome.
I know exactly where it is.
Like if you look at a map, it's right there. You know, it's boom, perfect, right in the tit.
That's it. That's hilarious. And then on Twitter, guys, the next question that we have here comes from @JBeansWetside. We have, what's his favorite remix you've ever made?
Oh man, that's tough. So the horse one was pretty funny because it became a whole meme, but I think my favorite one is the first one, which is where I took Neo's song So Sick and I made it about the showdown bands that had happened, where we lost like Zygarde 50, I think, and like Lanoon or something like that. So it ended up being a whole big thing, but I cannot sing at all. Like, that's confirmed. But if you can get past that, it's a pretty good song.
I haven't shown Summer. I probably should have showed you before we sat down, but Shay actually wrapped his whole draft analysis for the APA Academy.
Oh, you showed me the segment, the little, like, the intro to when you were putting it all together.
Oh, yes, when I was putting the announcements for the coaches, she heard that one, that little mini rap. That was epic. How long does something like that come to you? Does it happen automatically, or is that like a sit down, I'm gonna write this out?
Well, it's just sometimes it kind of works out. Like, before I did any like actual rapping, I recorded at a draft league battle last gen to the beat of, I did one to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and I did one to I believe the Cha Cha Slide, and it just kind of went on from there. Like, I don't know why, it was just like, you know, I get so tired of watching just the same old content from everybody. I was like, I make content, I might as well do something, you know, stupid that I think's funny. And then it just kind of ended up becoming songs. And actually, my roommate that I live with, he's a rapper, so we did that OK Boomer song together. So he just like has a whole ass studio in his room, and it's like, well, I might as well, you know, jump in there. You know, I get in the booth every now and then.
This is your sign. This is your sign, like, this is destiny. That's so funny. And then our next question we have is @DarkDevil26. He asks, I'm gonna say this:
Darkest Devil 26.
The Darkest Devil.
Darkest_Devil 26.
I'm gonna say this in full context. You ready? He says, why did he let his neighbor's cow shit all over his yard? I'm sure that there's a there's a story to this
Yeah.
that I'm very interested to find out about.
Okay, so Brendan's a good pal, and the others. I was just in another call with him and a bunch of buddies, and just one day I might have had a beverage or two, and we were talking, and I used to live like my dad used to live in this tiny ass small town, and he lived on an acre of land, and surrounding like he lived in like the center of the donut, and then the donut itself was just a farm. So like
Jesus.
him and the farmer would get into fights all the time. They didn't like each other. And the farmer, to be a dick, would open the gate to my dad's property and let all the cows in. And then he had like so many cows. Like I never counted them, so I don't even know how many. Like at least 40, maybe 100. I don't know, dude. I don't know how to count cows. So they would just poop all like the whole yard. There was no more yard. It's only poop now. Like So then my dad would be like, "Yo, kids, we're gonna get this asshole farmer back." So we would all get shovels and scoop the poop and throw it over the fence. And he parked his tractor under this big shade tree that kind of split the two properties. So it was in range of the poop, So we would just get the shovels and sling the poop at the tractor. And the farmer would come back and be mad. And then it's a never-ending cycle. It was like
cycle, yeah.
It was like a sitcom or something. Like we were always slinging poop and just.
Oh my god. This is the Chronicles of Living Out in Texas, huh?
Yeah, for real. This is like. So when I was talking about the horses earlier, I promise we don't actually like. After I told that story, now I think like people might actually think like we're just riding horses everywhere.
That's so funny. The question that we have next is from @PlatinumHowler, and he asks, why is he obsessed with Marnie? And I'm kind of curious of like when the first initial bring on of Marnie came on. What was your thought process when she came aboard?
Well, so just personal preference, as it goes. Like if I had to pick an ideal type of woman, it would probably be like if I had to justify it down to just a few words, it would probably be big titty goth GF. Like just to be completely honest. So the fact that there was a Pokemon character like that fit that, not directly, but just the kind of that vibe, I was like, that's the one, And then also the more Pico was thrown in there too, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm on board. This is just who I am now,
This is just who I am now. That's epic. That's cool that you say that, because what exactly is about that? Because a lot of the people that come onto the podcast and they tell us about their favorite Pokemon, it's like an initial click. It's like that one little second where like, okay, this Pokemon's like my favorite now. What exactly about Morpeko was it that you saw it and you just fell in love?
To be completely honest, the picture that is my Discord avatar, that is the one I was like, damn. Look at him. I'd hug the shit out of that little guy, Like just you would have to. He's so cute. I was like, okay.
I see them side by side, the Mimikyu, and I'm like, oh, that looks kind of creepy. I'd rather go with the...
Oh, so you just hop shift and shit.
I mean, I've always thought Mimikyu was a lot creepy.
That's kind of, I can see that. Oof, I know, exposed.
He just wants to snuggle forever,
He does.
I don't want to snuggle with that though forever.
Oof. So that is 2 oofs in 10 seconds.
I have a question. So how'd you come up with your name Shayquaza?
Okay, so back when I used to use I'm pretty much only on Twitter now, but like I used to use Instagram like a lot and Facebook like a lot, but I would get like tired of having the same name, so I would just make my name with puns of like all other stuff. So I had like Shaycation and like Shaynanigan, which is where I got the idea for the podcast, and eventually I had Shayquaza, and I remember like three people messaged me and were like it's like, all right, that's the one.
Yeah.
So it just kind of stuck.
Yeah, that sounds... No, it is. It definitely flows. It sounds right, if that makes any sense.
No, for sure. It fits into... It's fitting a couple rap songs, So like it works, You got the potential rhymes and stuff for it. It was all meant to be.
That's true.
Yeah.
I shouldn't think about it that way. It's more rap material.
More rap material.
Rap material is good. And then Sock, the next question they have here, it's Sock is his name, and he says, This is good. This is a good one. I'm actually very curious. So he asks, why is Cane's chicken the best chicken?
Why is Cane's having the best chicken?
He, we're really getting the nitty gritty of this now, huh?
The nitty gritty.
This is the debate now.
Do y'all
The
have
great
Cane's
debate has started.
over there?
Yeah, we do, but we've never tried it.
So, TBH, and I know Stock is gonna hate me a little bit, but it's okay. Cane's chicken itself isn't that good. What's good is the crack they put in that sauce, because that shit gets you hooked, dude. You don't just have one dip of that sauce. No, like I would pay so much more for that chicken just because of the sauce. Like, it's already kind of expensive.
What kind of sauce is it? I don't know. Like, I'm thinking like Chick-fil-A sauce, but is it like?
It's kind of like a Thousand Island-y kind of like Thousand Island, but like also crack. Yeah, that's what it's definitely. Thousand
Island plus
exactly
crack
what it is.
equals the sauce.
How to make
much.
the recipe
And, like,
of Cane's cocaine you put
Like,
put Thousand Island, grab some cocaine, mix it all up, and bottle.
we need to 23andMe what the cane sauce is, so I can make it myself and sell it out of my kitchen.
Yep. Well, now I'm intrigued of trying raisin.
I kind of am too. I was thinking this more be like a debate between like, Pollo Loco and Cane's and KFC.
El Pollo
for the
Loco
chicken,
doesn't
but,
even. El Pollo Loco is not. It's like in the category of like Popeyes and.
But isn't that necessarily kind of in the same category? What would you put in the same category as Cane's?
El Pollo Loco is in the separate category.
I've never actually had Pollo Loco. Like, there's a couple around here, but it's not like real popular.
Daniel lived off that for like a full year.
Bro. So before I got married, right, I was a personal trainer full time. I was the lead trainer of this gym. I taught 8 classes a week. I had about 15 clients within the week. So I was living the life where I was working out twice a day, sometimes 3. So I had to get a little bit of extra protein in me. So I had the extra money, obviously, single guy, lived by myself. So I would go out all the time. Chipotle was on top of the list. I would go in some random place to get like rotisserie chickens from like Walmart. And then I thought, okay, there's some sweet deals at Pollo Loco. So I just started eating a Pollo Loco every single day for about 2 months. Legit 2 months. And that's what kept up my gains up, really, was just from eating Pollo Loco all the freaking time.
And you wouldn't get just like a single. You would get like
the whole damn chicken.
The whole family meal by yourself.
So, like, you ordered, but it wasn't a number special. It was just like, I'll have the one chicken, please, one entire chicken, and water.
Let me get the whole chicken. It's the 8-piece. The 8-piece, the breast and thigh. That was my thing. The breast and thigh. And then I kind of put that over KFC. Are you a fan of KFC?
Ooh.
Ooh? Is that a good ooh or a bad ooh?
Well, let him answer the question and I'll answer.
KFC is like, I don't know, it's like the real cheap option, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's like the I only have $2 and then like the change under the seat, but I need chicken now. Probably because I'm intoxicated. That's the KFC, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I really have something against KFC, and I don't know why I have something against KFC. But the only thing I really enjoy from there are the chicken littles. That's pretty much it. But that's, again,
Gotcha.
It's like, okay, I got $1 in my car, out of change, probably a bunch of pennies, and I'm hungry, and I want some chicken, so I get a chicken little.
What is a chicken little?
It's a sandwich. It's just a sandwich. Yeah.
This is the great debate. To tell people where to go to get your chicken.
Yep.
Dude, this is like insider info right now. Yeah, exactly.
So we're gonna have to go grab ourselves a little. What do they call them? What do they call them at KFC?
A chicken little.
Chicken little. We'll grab a chicken little. We'll grab some chicken breast from Pollo Loco, and then some sauce from Cane's.
We're gonna have a whole like a tasting board of different chicken.
We go from there. Mm-hmm. We need to fly you in, Shay. We'll take you out to some Pollo Loco chicken because you got to get out to the West Coast.
Dude, flights are so cheap right now. They'll pay you $28 to get on a plane. Like it's the opposite. Like, it's free but plus benefits. You know?
Yeah.
Have you been to the West Coast before?
Yeah, I went to California when I was a little kid to go to Disney. I don't know if it's World or Land, but
Land.
The one that's not in Florida.
Land, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. So we went to the Land of Disney, and then that's I wasn't like old enough to really do anything cool though. You know.
See, nowadays if you go to Disneyland, you find us, and then there's the whole aisleway to get to Disney's just caked with bars. So you just buzz yourself out.
Yeah.
And then hang out with Mickey for the rest of the day, thinking that he's actually talking to you. It's the way you gotta roll. And then over on Twitter, so the last question that we have here is from I can never say his name correctly. And my man, if you're listening to the podcast right now, I'm very, very, very sorry. We're in IBL together. His name is Wamar.
I think it's weird. It's like got silent letters and shit. It's pronounced Courtney, I believe.
That's epic.
Courtney.
My man, I'm gonna have to tag you.
That's not even funny. That's just really how it is. Like that's just it.
So, Wamar13, aka Courtney, he asked,
Courtney.
when's the next song? When are we getting the next heater?
The next banger.
Oh man, so I had one planned with my roommate, and we were gonna make a song about the quarantine and stuff, and it wasn't like as funny as we thought it was gonna be when we first like thought about it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't want to put anything out that's less than up to par of my terribly performed songs, you know. So like, I've set the bar pretty like mid to low, and I can't go lower than that, you know.
Gotta make sure keep it to par.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. So you have a podcast too, right? I like the transitions out. The floor is yours. What tell the people what your podcast is about, because I thoroughly enjoy it every single time you post one, but give us a little bit more insider information about what we have to expect from Shenanigans.
Oh man, I appreciate it. Like I don't really even know what it is, to be completely honest. It's just me and a computer, and like I'm just yelling. Like it's just me talking. I'll tell stories, and I'll like occasionally react to a video, or I'll find like something funny and like talk about it. But basically just a lot of the comedians that I watch, they do that kind of stuff, and I was like, I can do that. So then I started doing it, and I was like, but nobody really wants to watch a podcast that's super long. Like anytime even if it's someone I really want to see, an hour is so long. I could have already flown to you guys for negative $48 by then, you know. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
That's 100%.
I was like, I'll just keep it 20-30 minutes and everything will be all fine. I was like, I'll do like a few episodes, and if I have fun with it, I'll keep doing it. And it was a blast, you know. Like it's fun to have a goofy outlet to vent, you know. And even it's not really venting, it's just me talking shit most of the time.
Yeah.
That's the truth. That's the truth. And
That's
then
pretty much it.
My closing question that I have for you is a personal question, because I've always wanted to ask you this from listening to your own podcast. Is what ties you? What brings you into the trouble, the fun adventures you get from rolling with your buds to the bar, any bar? It could be,
What are you talking about?
the local bar. You have to watch a podcast.
Oh,
I'll show you a
okay,
couple podcasts of his. But what's your craziest story that you've had recently at any local bar that you've gone out with your buddies?
I think I know which one you're referring to. So we get to this local bar. It's nothing crazy, right? It's just it's like a sports bar, but also there's like half of it is for adults, and then it's like half of it there's like area for kids, you know? So it's like, it's like a older crowd. So it's chill. Nobody's yelling. Nobody's vaping like an asshole. You know, you're just chilling. So this lady comes, and she said she just got back from church. And basically, she ordered a bunch of corn nuggets, like deep fried corn nuggets and ranch. And then she proceeded to shove them into her mouth, and she made herself laugh. So then she spit corn nugget and ranch all over across the table on me and my buddy. And it just set the whole night off in flames. So then she was trying to get with my friend or somebody, you know, like she just wanted something, but it was just a whole big mess. And basically I told my friend to walked through the children's side. I just left, and I just drove home and was like, I'm not going back in there ever again.
Oh man. That's
we have to find it. We gotta find the corn nugget girl.
Corn nugget.
Corn nugget girl, if you're
Get
listening
her
to the
side of the
Grandmaster's
story.
Table, we need to get your side on the podcast. We need to. Did you do this because you love him? We need to find out. Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned.
Oh, actually, you know what? I did have something I wanted to bring up with you, though.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
And before I say this, it's like, okay, so you know, we've done a few things. You know, we just played for NCP. You know, we probably spent like an hour or so on call. We did the APA stream. You know, we've kicked it for a minute. We've talked to each other. We're pals.
We're best friends at this point.
So when I say this, there's no negative connotation whatsoever. This is just me goofing around. But I just have to ask, why are your YouTube titles so long? Dude, you put like 4 sentences in those things. What is going on?
I always tell him stuff. I'm always like, Daniel, keep it simple. And he's like, okay, I'll keep it simple, and writes a paragraph for a freaking title. I'm like, Daniel, what is this?
Dude, I click on one of your videos and a paragraph of text shows up, and I'm like, dude, I'm not in high school anymore. I ain't reading that shit.
The honest truth is, I think I'm one of those read it before you do it kind of people. And the moment that I came onto YouTube, amongst like everything I do in my life, is I kind of like to make sure that I am fully prepared and educated of what I'm doing. So make sure that everything that I do is with purpose, and everything that I've learned on YouTube is like from other YouTube videos of like how to grow your channel, like how to grow your followers, how to grow your viewers. And I remember the first thing that they said is that you make sure you are super thorough with what your descriptions are, so that way you get keywords. Right. And I said, all right, I'm gonna write
my essay about this. Here's a summary about the video right here, just in case you guys wanted to.
In case you don't want to watch it, this is what it's about.
Don't judge a book by its cover, but if it's the D-Ray video, dog, you can judge it immediately. You got the whole thing right there. You got all you need to know and more.
I'm trying to get those keyword views. So the moment that you type in the or at, then it's gonna go straight to my video. Oh man, that's funny you say that. That's so funny. Summer Ash is like, she said.
But no, that's like how I feel like that's like your thing now. Like that's like when I see one of your video, like when I see you like plug in Discord, I'm like, that's like I don't even have to know it's you, because it's like, yep, boom. So it's cool. You have like a unique way of doing it, so like you're easily recognizable. I respect it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Guys, if you guys weren't entertained by this podcast, by this episode, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if you guys are stuck behind a rock, but this has been a great time. Please do me a massive favor. I'll have a link down in the description below for Shay's YouTube. I'll put a link down for his Twitter. Make sure you follow him. Make sure you like all of his stuff. Make sure you blow up the man. He's a great human being. He's an amazing soul that we have in the Draft League community. And as you've known from today, he's just an awesome person. So, guys.
And for my first co-hosting, I'm glad it was this one, because I had a really good time. I was really nervous coming in. I'm like, what do I bring to this? Like, he didn't even ask me. He just kind of like, you're doing this with me.
That's
I'm like,
marriage.
Okay. I'm like, sure. And I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like, what do I say? I don't know Pokemon that well. Like,
well, first of all, the first tip that you have that we'll put this out here on the table is you don't call me Daniel on the YouTube channel.
Oh, sorry.
We found the third oof, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Grandmaster, I'm very sorry.
Does Spider-Man's friends call him Peter Parker on the streets?
Yes.
Oh my
Anyways,
God.
And so I'm really glad it was with you, because it really set the bar. So whoever else comes on, there's a bar set. 'Cause I expect lots of laughter throughout it.
So that's a big segment to you, my man. You've always got the bars. You've got the bars.
Hey, I appreciate it. And I'm glad. I'm honored and sorry, like I said, to be the first one to be co-hosted.
I'll set you guys in a little backstory comment that when we first got connected before we hit the record button, Summer wanted to basically say she was sorry about her bringing to the table what she can, and then Shay replied with, "No, actually, I'm sorry for towards the end of this what you're gonna be saying." So that was a thing. Alrighty guys, so with all that being said, again, make sure you go down to the description below, hit up his channel, like all his stuff, blow him up, do me that massive favor, and with all that being said, the floor is yours, man. Do you have anything you want to plug? Anything coming up soon? Any projects?
No, not really. Just check out the podcast if you into them podcasts. I got you. Just come through and we do this for 30 minutes a week, basically. And thank you guys for having me. This was really fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Thanks so much for coming on, man. The last thing I'll plug is that you can stay tuned with Shay and I. We're going to be throwing down this Saturday, for the NCP week number 4, I believe it is. So the San Diego Smugglers are taking on
number
the
4.
Dallas Starmies. So shout out to the Snuggler, shout out to Starmies, and we'll see what that who's the winner after the dust settles. So we'll see how that goes out. Palms are sweaty. That's not going to be a spoiler. Anyway, thanks so much, Ronan, for coming on. Summer, thank you so much for joining me now as the new co-host. And with all that being said, guys, we're going to get the heck up out of here. Have a great rest of your night. And above all else, be nice. Peace.
Bye.